Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm out in our small greenhouse just checking on some of our experiments, some of our cuttings, some of our propagations, and I wanted to talk about the system we're using for the water in this aquaponics system. And I want to show some of our cuttings that are actually starting to pop some life off. These are mulberry cuttings. They've been in here about 3 weeks and these are pretty well ready to go. I'm going to split all those out and repot them. Once I see some good root growth off of one of them, I will have to do a test to see if they're actually rooting up for me. Aside from all of our divisions and cuttings and propagations we just got laying around the greenhouse here, we've got a ton of stuff propagating in this water up here. We did some experiments with celery here. The typical celery stalk, cut it and it's starting to regrow. You can see the white root growth off of that. Very cool stuff. We also had put some of our Jerusalem artichoke little buds that our chickens had dug up. That is very interesting. Got a lot of root growth on those. This one's not as developed because this has only been in there for a day or two and it's already got white root growth off of it. So I did a very cool experiment. I took a small bell pepper cutting from a thin little branch, actually smaller of a branch than I would normally like to take a cutting from. I'm gonna set that there gently. And I took one from a large cutting and it's starting to throw roots. You can see all those lumpy white masses. That's actually root development. So the large cutting is much slower to throw roots off and actually grow, while the smaller cutting was very quick, about half the time from what this one has been in here, and it doesn't have near the root development as the small cuttings. Very interesting observation. I thought everybody would find that interesting. When you're taking cuttings, make sure they are thinner, not larger, because you will get faster and better root development. And when you're propagating for a profit, such as we were all summer at our farmers market, you really want to have a quick turnover rate from cutting to rooting to actually planting out and being an established plant in a pot. So I want to spend a minute to talk about the solar pump and battery system that we are running. You can see the pump is connected to both those lines at the very bottom there. I'm taking this system down and taking it into the basement, so I will not have this outside, and we're going to move our fish inside because it's getting cold here and I do not want anything to die on me and I don't want to freeze our fish up. So this system we still have in place from last winter, travels through our entire floor and pumps water through the outside of our greenhouse and then back in through this black hose, which is buried in plants, but it spits water out here and it fills our tub back up, thus activating the bell siphon and draining through that white tube back into our pond. So all of that is just an extra add-on up here that I created for the summertime. Once all this is gone, we are going to go back to a large gene pain compost pile outside, and it will be about up to the window there, just like last winter. About 3 cubic yards of material it takes to heat this little greenhouse all winter. So I'm going to be bringing an update as soon as I take this system down here and get everything pulled up and I start to rebuild our gene pain system and get everything back in place the way it was before we built this aquaponics system. So that should give me a really good chance to explain what we're doing, how it's set up, and the purpose of it all in depth while I'm resetting up the system for this winter. And that's because we've had so much interest in the gene pain composting and just heating this little greenhouse with just compost and solar power. This was just a little update on all of our experiments and what we're going to be doing, and kind of a prelude to what's going to be coming next in this little greenhouse and the next video that I'll have coming out. We're still putting a bunch of work into our large greenhouse, so stay tuned as I start to transform this summer greenhouse into a fall and winter greenhouse. Please like and subscribe, it helps us out a lot. And if you have any questions on anything we're doing in this little greenhouse, please feel free to drop it in the comments below. We will get right back to you. Thank you very much for watching.